Mike Tyson's top 10 knockouts. Mike Tyson is certainly a controversial figure.
Can I at least get a blowjob? I wish one of your guys had children if I could kick them in their fucking head or stomp on their testicles.
With a checkered past that includes time spent in prison, he is, for many people, polarizing. However, it's hard to ignore the achievements, let alone the raw power of the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. We have seen a resurgence in all that is Tyson in recent time. Currently in the works, there is a biopic starring Jamie Foxx.
We get to play the young Mike Tyson. Luckily, the technology's on our side. Let me give you the opening of the movie.
With photos surfacing showing Fox's incredible physical transformation as he seeks to emulate Tyson in his prime. In addition, Tyson himself may be on his way back to the ring, with fights against former and current champions being touted. And if we look at a number of recent training videos released by the Tyson camp, the champ seems to have lost none of his formidable power. So while we wait to see what is ahead for Tyson, let's look back and see the fights that made him Iron Mike Tyson.
What's that?
Okay.
Okay, you know that.
I don't know why you talk to me like that when you know I'll kill you for it.
These are Mike Tyson's top 10 knockouts. 10. Tyson versus Thomas. The fight against Pinklon Thomas displayed Tyson's resilience against an opponent who had been outboxing the champ in the early rounds. Rumors surrounded Thomas carrying an injury into the fight. However, he used his superior reach to out-jab Tyson and was likely leading on the scorecards. In the 6th round, after a lengthy delay, a partially rested Tyson found the spark needed to stop Thomas. In a sustained volley of 15 punches, Iron Mike knocked a shell-shocked Thomas to the canvas. Known for his ability to withstand extreme punishment, it was the only time he would be stopped in his career, and again highlighted Tyson's ability to stop those that had never been stopped before.
You know what I mean? How dare them even to challenge me in these fighters, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? With their primitive boxing skills, you know what I mean? They're as good as dead.
9. Tyson versus Tillman. As an amateur, Tyson had twice fought Henry Tillman and had lost both to the older fighter by close decision, and the 1990 professional bout gave Tyson a chance for redemption. The fight also followed Tyson's first loss of his professional career that had just come months earlier at the hands of Buster Douglas. If the loss had created any doubts, Tyson laid them to rest early in the first round with a vicious overhead right that snapped Tillman's head back and sent him immediately out for the count. Whether it was vengeance for the amateur losses or the loss to Buster, this result made a statement heard throughout the boxing world.
It would have happened to any fighter, because at this particular point I was throwing, what can I say, hydrogen bombs.
8. Tyson versus Mathis. Mathis was lucky to make it into the 3rd round against Tyson, and the fight would not go further than this.
He's very delusional.
After a volley of close-range punches, the larger Mathis was knocked to the floor of the ring and unable to resume. The emotion and respect between the two fighters was clear after the fight, with Mathis having lost his father less than 2 weeks before the match. 7. Tyson versus Williams. The fight against Tyson was the biggest of Williams' career, but will be remembered mostly for Tyson landing one of the most brutal counterpunches of his career. Midway through the first round, Tyson evaded a jab from Williams and returned with a left hook that sent Williams sprawling into the ropes. 6. Tyson versus Burki. Burki was a fighter with an enviable record, an Olympian, a WBC world champion, and one of only 2 fighters in history who had fought both the great Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. Where he may have won the fight against the aging Ali, the younger Tyson overwhelmed Burki in the fight, in which Iron Mike Tyson won the WBC heavyweight title.
Garbage.
Tyson rocked Burki with several big hits, and in the 2nd round sent the older man to the canvas with a well-timed left hook. To his credit, Burki attempted to fight on, but the damage was done and the fight was stopped. 5. Tyson versus Holmes. Larry Holmes was an impressive fighter, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and finished his professional career of 75 fights, suffering only 6 losses. With a strong chin and a world-renowned jab, the fight against Tyson would be the only time he was knocked out in his career. Holmes had previously retired, but was lured out to fight the champ for the huge purse and the chance to be the heavyweight champion. The fight made it to the 4th round when Tyson started to overpower Holmes. Tyson dropped Holmes 3 times in the 4th round, the 3rd stoppage leaving the referee with no choice but to stop the fight. 4. Tyson versus Frazier. The fight against Mathis Frazier was never likely to go the distance. However, few expected the absolute demolition of the heavyweight contender.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
Tyson went through Frazier's defenses with ease and displayed his fearsome power for the world to see. The result was Frazier unconscious on his feet against the ropes, and then collapsed, slumped, and seated in the corner of the ring a mere 30 seconds into the fight. It was the type of display many had come to expect from Tyson that would put fear into the hearts of opponents. 3. Tyson versus Biggs. Tyrell Biggs was a super heavyweight Olympic gold medalist and was undefeated when he met Tyson in 1987. With no love lost between the two, the lead up to the fight was filled with a hostility that would be carried into the ring.
I want to fight, and destruct the world because I'm the best fighter in the world.
Biggs' movement in the early rounds displayed his pedigree as he attempted to outbox Tyson. However, the blows that counted continued to come from Tyson. To his credit, a bloodied and clearly hurt Biggs continued to stand up against Tyson's onslaught until the fight was stopped in the 7th round after another Tyson bomb. The war would continue after the fight, with Tyson declaring he had carried Biggs through the fight to inflict more damage on his rival. 2. Tyson versus Etienne. This fight, the last victory of Tyson's professional career, was short, impressive, and finished in devastating fashion. There were suggestions leading into the fight that Tyson was lacking fitness.
And then have this in 7 or 8 seconds.
For this fight, I only trained probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks for this fight.
However, this would not be put to the test, with the bout lasting less than 1 minute. Early in the first, Etienne ducked under a left hook. As he rose, leaving his head exposed, he was met with the full force of Tyson's right and knocked out within a manner not soon forgotten. 1. Tyson versus Bruno 2. In a match that would be the last of Frank Bruno's career, we saw the classic Mike Tyson in all his powerful glory.
How dare them challenge me with their somewhat primitive skills? They're just as good as dead.
It was the 2nd time the two men had fought, and it was memorable for the way in which Tyson steamrolled Bruno in the 3rd round, with a relentless Tyson throwing close-range combinations to which Bruno had no answer until he fell, stunned, into the ropes. This was Tyson at his powerful, furious best. There you have it, Mike Tyson's top 10 knockouts. In a career that boasts 58 fights, 50 wins, with 44 of those coming by knockout, there are plenty of stoppages to choose from. Love him or loathe him,
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me.
it's hard to argue with the fact he is one of the most formidable fighters in the ring, and if recent social media posts are anything to go by, we may not have seen the last of Iron Mike Tyson.
The possibility I might come back, but if I do, I'm gonna fight with the spirit of Miles.